Let's build an all-black gaming PC inspired by Tron Ares, sponsored by ASUS. You guys, I love ASUS gaming products, so when they reached out to me for this Halloween-inspired campaign, I was super stoked. They are actually running a giveaway for Halloween, so I'll link the details down below so you can enter for a chance to trick out your own PC build. Anyways, let's get into it. All right, let's get this build started. So the first thing we're gonna need is the motherboard. This is the ASUS TUF Gaming b860 plus Wi-Fi. Whoa, here she is. It's very beautiful. All right, so we're gonna wanna keep this box because it still has the Wi-Fi antennas, and if you're installing a hard drive, it'll have all of that stuff in there. Let's get into the installation. So the first thing we're gonna do is install the CPU, and we have the Intel Core Ultra 7 265K. Oh wait, I actually got the 265KF. So what the F, actually, if you guys don't know what these numbers mean, so they changed the naming recently. So it used to follow a different naming structure. So it would be like 12th, 13th, or 14th gen. So that would tell you like what year it came out. Now it's Series 2. The one that comes out next year will be Series 3, 4, 5, unless they change it again, I think. Anyways, the K tells you that it's unlocked, so you can overclock this. So if you buy a non-K, so back then it would have been like the 14700 without any letters, that means you can't overclock the CPU. And then F just means there's no discrete graphics. So if you buy just like a 265K without the F, that means if you don't have a GPU yet, it'll still work. Or if you're like troubleshooting and you have to take your GPU out, it'll still have an output on your monitor. But because this says F on it, that means you need a GPU no matter what. So if I just put this in here right now and I don't have a GPU installed, it literally will not display anything. The KF is usually just cheaper. But yeah, that's just a little explanation. Anyways, let's unbox this. Also, do you guys like that I matched my nails for the build? I'm in my nail era. So here is that CPU. You're gonna wanna make sure you try not to touch the bottom here. And then we're gonna go ahead and open this. So to open this, we're gonna press down this lever and push it down and to the right, okay? Open it, then put it here. And now we'll just carefully, there are some notches on the right side of the CPU here. I don't know if you can really tell super well. You can just like line that up. There's also a golden triangle, or there's like a triangle on the lower part of the CPU as well, which you can match up to the triangle on this plastic thing. But once we're certain it's like aligned, we can just do that. And that's done, easy. All right, now for the RAM installation. Today we have 32 gigabytes of GeForce Delta DDR5. I've used these a couple times. I've actually painted this before for the neon build that I did, and that was super fun. All right, so normally the sticker side goes on the left, but you'll wanna check and make sure you're installing it the right way, because if you do it the wrong way, it literally won't go in because it has to match up a certain way. So, and we're gonna wanna put them in slots 2 and 4. Yippee. Okay, now for the SSD. We have a 1 terabyte M2 SSD. Ooh, this is a Gen 5 SSD from Team Group. Trying to see what speeds this runs at. But since it's a Gen 5 drive, it should be really fast. All right, so to install this, we're gonna wanna open up this right here. And it always annoys me that the M2 screws sometimes need a smaller bit. Okay, so this actually comes with an optional like heat spreader that you can stick on here. And I think that's for if you're using like a motherboard that has no heatsink, but since we do have a heatsink, we'll just go ahead and skip that. All right, now just screw this back on. Ready to move on to the next step. Today's PC build is sponsored by ASUS, and they're actually running a Trick Out Your Build campaign where you can enter for a chance to win up to $12,000 in prizes. They're giving away everything from peripherals to all of the components you'll need to build your dream gaming rig. Almost everything in today's build is from ASUS, and I love that they're always encouraging us to think outside of the box and really customize our rigs and make them our own. Now you can enter on the page that I'm showing here. Just scroll down, there will be a Gleam entry and you can actually see exactly what they're giving away too. And one of the things they're giving away is actually an ROG Astral RTX 5080, which is freaking insane. These Astral cards are crazy. They're also giving away some of their Miku components and a bunch of just other stuff. So be sure to check the link in the description below to enter for your chance to win one of these amazing prizes. This giveaway is going to be open from now until November 30th, so you definitely have plenty of time, but you do not want to miss out because these prizes are insane. Thanks again ASUS for sponsoring this video. All right, so now I'm gonna open up the AIO so we can throw that bracket on there. And this is the LC3 360mm ARGB cooler from TUF Gaming, which also has an LCD on it. So we're gonna go ahead and open this. Oh, wow. Why is this package so like insane? Nice padded top layer here. I'm really just looking for all the accessories. Yeah, just this right here, and then the instruction manual. And then we can put the rest of this aside again. All right, so for Intel, we normally don't need to unscrew the existing brackets. Pretty sure we just use this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and, okay, so what we'll have to do is flip this over. I'm gonna unpeel these stickies. Now all we have to do is stick this, match up the holes. Oh, actually on the back here, you'll see if you have like a different Intel CPU, it kind of marks out where these need to be pushed into. Not super intuitive. Oh, okay. I just like pulled it. You just have to pull it like all the way out. All right. Okay, this might seem a little strange, but now we're gonna get the PSU out, okay? We're gonna get the power supply out because I've learned after doing like 50 different PC builds, it's just easier to plug in the CPU power cables right now. Also because, yeah, I'll just show you guys later, but sometimes there's like holes that you can put the CPU power cables through where like after the motherboard's installed, you can't fit it in anymore. This is just my personal preference, so we don't actually need the power supply, just the cables. And today I'm using the TUF Gaming 1000 watt power supply, which has these like nice individually sleeved waxy little cables. I think for good measure, I'll get the 24 pin out as well and do that. So we're just looking for the CPU power cables. I found one. There should be another one. Is it this one? Oh yeah, how convenient. Okay, now we can just set this aside and put the rest in later. Oh, also the other thing is I just take these cuticle clippers and I snip these twist ties now. But just a little peachy tech tip. A peachy tech tip. Let's put this motherboard back here. The CPU power connectors are in the top left almost all the time. I've seen like one or two boards where they're on the right and I hate it because no cases have the cutouts on the right, but that's super rare. Anyways, normally there will be two sides. So one side with like a fatter connector and then one side with the skinny connector. Also, it'll just say on the cable which one is for the PSU. So it says PSU right here. So we're gonna take the non-PSU side and plug this into the motherboard. It should click. And then we're gonna do it for the other one too. Oh, the other reason too is once you've installed the motherboard into the case, like sometimes when you're trying to fit your fingers into here, you might cut yourself on the heat sinks, which has happened to me like a bunch of times. So yeah, I just like to do it like this now. All right, so that is installed, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the 24 pin too, which is on the right side of the motherboard here. You literally can't miss it, it's super massive. All right, and now we can get the case and throw everything into the case, so give me a second. All right, so this case that we have today is the TUF Gaming gt502 Horizon case in black. I've built with this a bunch of times. This was actually one of the first cases ASUS sent to me when I was like a really small content creator. They sent me the white one. But yeah, so this is a black version. I've never built with a black version before, but it's got these Velcro straps up top, which are super handy for when you need to move the case. But we are gonna remove this because you do have to take this off to get the top panel off. So we're gonna remove these and set them aside for now. Oh, the other thing I like is all of the panels open with the push of a button, so you don't have to yank them. It is the worst feeling ever trying to yank open case panels when you have nails on, because I always feel like I'm gonna break my nail or break the panel or something. So that is probably one of my favorite features about this case. So you just press the button and it comes out. I think the front, does the front panel just pop? Oh, the front glass panel literally just pops out like this. And then the top, I think, okay, this one you actually have to yank, but it's super, I think it's just magnetic. Like it's not one of those like ball catches. I hate those. All right, and then now we just need to get the back open, which also comes open with the push of a button. So just like that. And all the little mesh panels are taped in for shipping. They actually have a bracket here in the back. You can install 3 140mm fans in here for some extra cooling, which is insane. But we don't really need that for our build today, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take this out so we can do cable management and stuff. All right, so here is that case and we're ready to toss the motherboard in. There's just 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just go ahead and unscrew that. All right, yep, those are gone forever. Okay, so here's what the back looks like. Tons of room for cables and things. I'm just gonna go ahead and lay this down now. And now we're just gonna throw the motherboard in. So, okay, so because we've put all these cables in, we just gotta like route them through really quick. I guess it doesn't matter as much for this case, but it's for sometimes if you wanna like put the CPU cables like under the motherboard kind of, like this. Cause you can do that on some cases where it just like makes more sense like that. Not particularly on this one though. So I'm just gonna do this normally. And it typically works better if you have a power supply with flat cables where they've made it to be kind of a ribbon cable. So just pulling this through. Yeah, low-key I just made it like a little bit harder for myself. So don't know about this method. It just doesn't make sense for this case, I guess. I don't know, I feel like this is one of those things where like if I do it, it's gonna like not be useful. And then if I don't do it, I'm gonna be like, why didn't I do that? But anyways, we can start screwing everything in. It's definitely way easier to do this while everything's laying down, but I did want to just show you guys more easily on camera. Just doing a bit of cable management really quick and plugging in the front panel power connectors. All right, what should we do next? Probably install the AIO. All right, let's get this cooler set up. So this AIO from ASUS actually has the fans pre-installed, which is great. Just pick this whole thing up. And then this box is trash. Wow. Yeah, it did come with all the fans pre-installed, and these are RGB fans. So let's go ahead and peel this off. Wow. Okay, the other thing we have to do is install the Intel bracket onto here, and let's also free up these cables while we're at it. All right, this thermal paste does come pre-applied, so we're gonna want to be really, really, really careful so you don't get it everywhere. So scared of getting it everywhere. So here is that little Intel bracket. It just says Intel on it. Okay, so we're gonna install these little mounting brackets, and to do that, I think it literally just, like it has to go, okay, yeah. And then there's a little packet of screws. There's 8 in here. You don't actually need 8. I think you only need 4. All right, so you only need 2 per side. We'll put the first 2 in on this side. And then we'll go ahead, I think I was supposed to use a bigger bit actually. Go ahead and slide this one in just like that. I'm gonna see if I can maybe just use my electric screwdriver for this. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. All right, let's toss the entire thing into the PC now. All right, let's go ahead and toss this entire cooler in. We're gonna mount it onto the top. So it's gonna go like this. The top part isn't super important right now, but because, oh my gosh, no, I've got the thermal paste everywhere. Ugh, so annoying. Okay, I don't like this. Yeah, that's like on me, but also like, why does the cover have to come off for the bracket to go on? Okay, I guess the right order to do it was to put this in first and then do it. But it's okay, I can just wipe the thermal paste off. It is really just a little bit. All right, so I went ahead and plugged in all of the cables coming off of both the fans here and the pump before installing this, because once it's installed, it's gonna be super hard to. So now all we have to do is screw in this radiator right here. And it did come with a whole bunch of these screws. So we'll just go ahead and use these. Although you don't really need they give you so many, you definitely don't need that many. But we'll start with one corner and then work our way around, I guess. Just don't screw it in all the way so you can make adjustments. Just going to kind of route these cables in the back. Because I wanted to go with the Tron theme, I decided to get some RGB covers for the PSU cables. I normally don't go for streamers and lots of RGB in my builds because I'm not a super huge fan on RGB lighting, but I do think it definitely fits the build super well. So I ended up getting these RGB cable covers. You can get Landly streamer cables, but those are power supply cable extensions, so you're gonna end up with a ton of extra cable to manage in the back, and I'm honestly just way too lazy to do that. So I just got these. They pop on right on top of the existing cables, and they come with these clips to secure it to the bottom. The clips come in 2 pairs of 3 different sizes, or I guess 3 sets of different sizes. I ended up using 2 of the smaller sizes just to secure everything. And then they just connect to your motherboard using the ARGB header, and I ended up getting a hub for this build because there's just so many different RGB devices. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug in all of the power cables. I also went ahead and plugged in the GPU power cable. Since we have a 50 series card, we're using that 12 volt high power. And we want the fan facing outwards. Just make sure there's no cables blocking it, and you should be good to go. Perfect. Now just to manage some cables. Okay, I need to actually install the fans now. So I got in these GeForce fans. These are actually Landly dupes. I think it retails for $30 for a set, a little under $30 maybe. And it comes in reverse and standard. So my reverse ones, I'm still waiting to come in. These are the standard ones. So we're gonna be installing them in the side here. So the first thing we're gonna do is uninstall whatever is pre-installed here. So these are those little fan area covers. I will say, if you do know that you're gonna put fans there, you should probably uninstall these before the AIO goes in because it's harder. But I do like that they include this in case you don't wanna get 10 fans, I guess. Anyways, so here are the GeForce dupe fans. Let's go ahead and open these. Each fan does look really similar to the Landly. It definitely feels lighter. So these are the standard fans, and then it does have this infinity mirror too, but the only thing is they don't daisy chain together. So you're gonna end up with a ton of cable management to do. And we have 6, so it's gonna be a lot of cables. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and install these. So looking at the back here, there is this hard drive cage that we need to remove before we can install the fans properly. Now just making sure all of these fan cables are on the proper side of things. We're also gonna have to align these. And we can just use the screws that came with the fans, which look like this. So just go ahead and screw these in carefully. I'm gonna do it kind of loose at first, and then one in, some of the cables are getting in the way, and then one in the top left. And then we'll just do that for all of them. Dang, I wanted to route the cable like this, but I don't think it'll work for this last one. Okay, there's actually just so many RGB devices. I'm gonna use a hub. This is just a hub that I got from some Vetru fan pack, I think. And then I'm gonna connect a SATA cable to the power supply. But all of the fans and RGBs will now plug directly into the hub right here. It has hella ports. All right, so I wanna put a screen here, but there isn't any cable pass through, so I'm gonna try to cut this, but I don't know if it'll be able to cut. Oh wait, it low-key did cut it, Is that enough? Oh yeah, it did cut it. Okay. So I basically just need to cut a bunch of these off. Oh wait, that's actually not too hard. I'm basically trying to make a hole that I can pass cables through. I'm like definitely bending it a lot. Why is this so hard? Okay. I think that this is the last part that I need to cut. Oh, it just came out. Okay, we just made a hole. Oh, I think I kind of messed up the hole. Oops. But here's the piece that came out. That wasn't too hard. Okay, I'm also gonna take this little nail guy and start filing it down so I don't like cut myself on it. So mostly just these like, okay, I mean, that seems like pretty safe now. Definitely need to like vacuum the dust out. But we did that, period. I'm so proud. Okay, so basically I have this screen that I want to mount in here, and this is what I needed to cut it for. I'm gonna pass these through. This one is a USB-C to C. That's gonna power the display. I do wish it had like display over USB-C somehow, but I don't think it would work since we have like a GPU that doesn't have that. Also, I don't know if this is long enough now. All right, well anyways, let's just plug this part in. Okay, well hopefully this is long enough once everything's like mounted in. I'm hopeful, but dude, it might not be long enough. I might need to get a longer cable. Yeah, I don't think this is long enough. Okay, I need to get a longer USB-C cable. The one that comes with the display is white, so that's why I didn't want to use it. Oh my gosh, you guys, so this is why I save all my cables. Look what I just found in my drawer. I got a USB-C to A, so this is perfect because there's only one USB-C port on this motherboard, so we don't have to use up one of the USB-C ports now. We'll just plug in the USB over here, and then this one will go in and plug into this. And it's a right angle one, which is so perfect. So we'll just go ahead and plug this right here. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect. Look at that. All right, now we can screw everything in. Although it does kind of suck that the right angle is like the other way. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Oof, I don't know. These cables might low-key be a problem. All right, let me fiddle with this. All right, you guys, it's time to unbox this GPU. We have the TUF Gaming 5070 Ti, which I am super excited for. I love the TUF Gaming cards. They honestly look the best. Oh, in the final stretch of this build, I'm just unboxing this 5070 Ti. I say final stretch, but we still have a bunch of aesthetic things to do. All right, so this card comes with like a Velcro cable strap, the giant adapter, hate that, and then an anti-sag bracket and a magnet. Oh, I forgot about the anti-sag bracket that comes with the case actually. So we're not completely done yet. I'm also wanting to do it like Tron themed, but anyways. Let's go ahead and peel the plastic off of this gorgeous card. Start with this piece. And then we can take out all of these too. And then onto the front shroud. Okay, let's start here. Wow, look at this GPU. They really should put like a tab on the side so we can easily like lift it up. Finally. All right, now let's open this up and we can go ahead and install this. So you don't have to actually open this because it's one of these. We'll just go ahead and try to put this in. Perfect. Now we'll screw it in and go ahead and plug this in. Okay, I don't know if that's like weird. Like, I don't know if I should put it above. I think I was meant to put it above. I don't know, guys.
You guys, for this Tron theme, I had the amazing idea to do a custom GPU backplate that would change from the blue Tron Legacy theme to the red Tron Ares theme, like depending on what angle you looked at it. But because of the tight timeline for this build, we couldn't figure it out. It was really close. I think because of the contrast of the blue and red, there weren't two clear images as you can see from this test print, so I ended up just doing the Tron Ares, like the red design, but it still looks really good. You can get custom backplates ordered from a place like V1 Tech, but everything was super last minute, so I ended up just designing the backplate cutouts myself in Photoshop and then sending it to my local print shop, where they were able to laser cut the acrylic and then like UV print it on. And for the final Tron Ares touch to this themed build, I don't know if this is the new identity disc for the new movie, but this like little triangle disc was all over the promo like trailers and posters, and I actually found a 3D file for free on the Bamboo Labs forum. And y'all, I'm such a noob at 3D printing, so I don't know if it was supposed to take this long, but just one of the pieces like with supports took like 14 hours to print. So I had to wait like 24 hours for everything to finish printing, and then it was time to assemble it. Whoever posted this did a really good job providing instructions. I ordered this red light from Amazon and then just threaded everything through, and it looks super cool. I'll link the file down below if any of you guys want to follow along.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and install this ARGB lighting kit that comes with the gt502 case. It comes with a bottom and a top, and it's basically just these two RGB strips, and they just have a long RGB cable. So we're gonna route this through the back first. And then this is magnetic, so it literally just pops on super easily. Alright, so this top one just goes on like that. Alright, gotta throw windows on this.
But with that assembled, here is the finished build. I hope you guys like it. If you're thinking about tricking out your personal rig, be sure to check out the ASUS giveaway down below. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more aesthetic PC builds.